You've sent us a truly fascinating collection of sources on Maya, Aztec, and Inca mythologies. Just an incredible stack.
It really is amazing stuff.
So today we're gonna, dive deep, pull out the most compelling stories, cosmic creations, trickster gods, hero journeys, all of it.
Yeah, and see what they tell us about these ancient cultures.
Exactly. What surprising wisdom is hiding in there? What insights can we find?
And it's important to remember these aren't just like kids' stories or something. They were fundamental.
Right, not just fantasy tales.
No, they were the blueprints for how these people saw their world, their origins, their place in the universe, really.
Explaining everything from, stars to their crops?
Celestial movements, agriculture, social values. It's all woven into these narratives. They shaped entire societies.
Okay. Prepare for some aha moments then.
Definitely. There are some real connections to be made.
All right, let's start with the Maya. Their whole relationship with time seems incredibly complex.
It really was. Timekeeping wasn't just, practical for farming, though it was vital for that.
It was more fundamental.
Oh, yeah. It was tied into their religious life, their rituals, their entire cosmology. Accurate time was lifeblood.
And they had these complex calendars to manage it, not just one.
No, two main ones working together. First, you have the sacred round, the Tzolk'in, or Chalkyuch.
That's the 260-day one.
Exactly. It cleverly combines 20 sacred day names with 13 numbers, so you get 260 unique day designations.
Like 5-Ix or 11-Aho, each day having its own specific meaning or energy.
Precisely. Each day had its own character, its own influence.
And running alongside that.
The solar calendar, the Hab, 365 days.
Okay.
Closer to our year.
Okay, how was that structured?
18 months with 20 days. That makes 360.
Plus 5 extra days.
Yeah, 500-calorie days at the end, the way up. And those were considered very, very unlucky.
A time for caution.
Definitely. A time when the boundaries between worlds were maybe thinner. And then for the really big picture.
The Maya long count.
Right. To track these huge, vast stretches of cosmic time beyond just the yearly cycles.
This deep focus on time, it suggests a specific worldview, right? About how the cosmos works.
Absolutely. It reflects this core belief in cycles, not just one creation event, like in some traditions.
But continuous cycles.
Yes, a rhythm of creation, destruction, and rebirth. The world is constantly being made, unmade, and remade.
So how did one of these cycles turn over? How did a world end and a new one begin?
Well, one key myth describes this cosmic conflict between Oxalantiku, Lord of the Heavens, sometimes associated with bees, interestingly.
Okay.
And Blantiku, the Lord of the Netherworld.
A classic heaven versus underworld battle.
Sort of, yeah. Blantiku actually attacked Oxalantiku, seized him, wounded him, bound him up.
Took his stuff.
Took his regalia, yeah. His scepter, his sacred fasting ash, a real usurpation.
And the consequences of that divine struggle?
Catastrophic for the world below. That imbalance led directly to destruction. Flood swept the earth. The sky actually fell. Total chaos.
Wow. So how did they rebuild from that?
That's where the four Bacabs come in. These divine figures, they finished the destruction of the old world, cleared the slate.
And then started fresh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They remade it by planting 4 immense trees at the corners of the world.
The cardinal directions.
Right. Red for the east, white for north, black for west, yellow for south. These weren't just symbolic. They were pillars holding the sky back up.
Keeping chaos at bay.
And right in the middle, they planted a great green world tree.
The ceiba tree, often
identified with that, yeah. And the central tree was said to actually record the destruction of the previous world.
A cosmic memory keeper.
Kinda, yeah. Only after these trees were set, holding up the sky, were the morning star and evening star put in their places, order restored.
Which leads us nicely to some very famous figures, the hero twins.
Yes. Hunahpu and Xbalanque, central figures in Maya mythology.
Divine beings, servants of the heart of sky.
Exactly. Destined for great things, even fated to become the sun and moon.
Their names are interesting. Hunahpu is one blowgun hunter.
Right, points to his skill, which is crucial later.
And Xbalanque, young hidden or jaguar sun.
Yeah, jaguar sun is key. The Maya saw the jaguar as linked to the sun's journey through the underworld at night.
So it hints at his connection to the underworld, maybe his cleverness.
Definitely. His cunning, their dual nature. They were incredibly strong, skilled, smart. They could talk to animals.
And they were tricksters?
Superb tricksters. That's a really valued quality in these stories.
And their origin story, it's not exactly conventional.
Not at all. Their mother, Lady Blood, was the daughter of an underworld lord.
Okay.
She got pregnant from the saliva dripping from the severed head of their father, one Hunahpu.
Wait, their father's head was in a tree.
Yeah, he'd been killed earlier by the lords of Xibalba, the underworld. His skull was hung in a calabash tree, and when Lady Blood reached out, well, that's how the twins were conceived.
Okay, that's quite a start. You just know they're headed for adventure.
Absolutely. And their first big test, taking down Seven Macaw.
The boastful bird-like being.
Right. He had these shining metal features, thought he was the sun, basically usurping its place. Very arrogant.
So the twins, with their blowgun...
They shot him right in the jaw, knocked him out of his Nance tree.
But he didn't go down easily.
No, he fought back, tore off Hunahpu's arm.
Ouch. What did he do with it?
Hung it over his fireplace like a trophy. Real insult.
So how did they get the arm back and defeat him? Trickery again.
Classic trickster move. They got help from their ancient grandparents, the Great White Peccary and Great White Tapir.
The grandparents posed as healers.
Yeah, toothache healers. They convinced Seven Macaw that his painful, shiny teeth needed removing.
Which weakened him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
They removed his teeth, his metal eyes too, took away his power, his source of pride. Then they got Hunahpu's arm back. It's a great example of using cleverness over just strength.
And they didn't stop there. They went after Seven Macaw's sons, too.
Had to deal with the whole arrogant family, apparently. First was Zipacna.
The crocodile-like guy who made mountains.
That's him. But he also killed 400 boys, so he wasn't exactly benevolent.
How did they...
Another trick. They used a fake crab made of leaves and a stone to lure him onto his back, his weak spot.
Got him. And the other son.
Cabricon. His name means earthquake. He boasted he could shake mountains.
Big talk.
Huge. The twins tricked him into eating a bird they drugged.
And once he was weakened...
They bound him up and buried him deep in a pit somewhere in the east. Took his earthquake power away for good.
But their biggest test, the most famous journey, was to Xibalba, right? The underworld.
The ultimate challenge. Their own fathers, one Hunahpu and his brother Seven Hunahpu, had gone down there before them.
And failed. They got tricked.
Miserably. Fooled by wooden statues the lords of Xibalba put out. They failed the test, got sacrificed.
So how did the twins avoid the same fate? What was their strategy?
Pure cleverness. Hunahpu did something amazing. He took a hair from his leg and transformed it into a mosquito.
A spy mosquito.
Basically, yeah. He sent the mosquito ahead to bite each of the lords of Xibalba.
So they'd cry out their name.
Exactly. The mosquito would bite. The lord would say, ouch. What was that lord name? And the next one would answer. The twins overheard everything.
Brilliant. So they knew who was who.
Right. They could greet each lord correctly by name, avoiding the wooden decoys, showing respect, but also showing they couldn't be easily fooled. They turned the lord's deception back on them.
And they survived all the deadly trials in Xibalba, too.
They did. Through more cleverness, resilience, and even a bit of resurrection after a seeming defeat, they ultimately humbled the lords of death completely.
What did that mean, humbling them?
It was a major demotion. The lords lost their status because they were untruthful, their hearts were bad, they weren't worthy of proper worship anymore.
So no more blood sacrifices for them?
Nope. Their offerings became like Croton sap, bitter stuff, and cracked, worn-out goods. And they could only claim the souls of wrongdoers, not just anyone. A huge loss of power and prestige.
Wow. And there was that detail about the maize plants back home.
Oh, right. Their grandmother, Ixmucain, had planted ears of maize for them. When the twins died temporarily in Xibalba, the maize withered.
But when they came back...
It sprouted again, full of life, a perfect symbol of their triumph over death and the cycle of renewal.
So the culmination of all this, their destiny.
They ascended. Hunahpu became the sun. Pulque became the moon, taking their rightful, hard-won places in the sky.
And the 400 boys killed by Zipacna.
They rose too. They became the Pleiades constellation. The Maya called it Mots. It all fits together. Earthly struggles, divine justice, cosmic order. But these myths, they weren't all about gods and cosmic battles. Many were cautionary tales.
Teaching moral lessons, societal values.
Exactly. Like the man who became a buzzard. Pretty straightforward story, right?
The lazy farmer envied the buzzard's easy life.
Yeah. Wish he could trade places, and he got his wish.
Instant regret, though.
Oh, absolutely. Discovering what buzzards actually eat rotten carcasses, suddenly farming didn't seem so bad.
And the key point is the transformation was permanent.
Right. No going back. It's a stark warning about being content with your lot, the value of hard work, and accepting your role in the community. Don't envy what you don't understand.
And there's the invisible hunters. This is a mosquito story, but it resonates more broadly.
It does. Themes of temptation, greed, breaking taboos, three brothers, great hunters.
They find the magical dar vine, grants invisibility.
Huge advantage for hunting, but it came with rules. Two big ones.
Never sell the meat of the wari, the wild pig.
And only use spears, no guns. Keep it traditional, sacred.
But then fame comes, traders arrive.
Exactly. European goods appear, cloth, wine, temptations. And slowly, driven by greed, the brothers start breaking the promises.
Selling the meat using guns.
And the consequence is really poignant.
They stay invisible.
Permanently invisible to humans. People would just see their kills sort of floating through the air. They were banished, forced to wander forever, crying out, "Dar, dar, dar," the name of the vine that doomed them.
A powerful warning against greed, losing touch with tradition when faced with new temptations.
Very powerful. Okay, should we shift gears to the Aztecs?
Let's do it. Similar themes of cycles, but with a different feel.
Definitely a different feel. The core idea is the 5 suns. This belief that the world has gone through multiple ages, multiple creations and destructions.
Starting with a primordial divine family.
Right, the Dulgado Métiotl and their 4 powerful children. 2 are really key players here. Tezcatlipoca.
Smoking mirror. A complex, often antagonistic figure.
Very. And Quetzalcoatl, the plumed serpent.
Yeah.
Often seen as more benevolent, a culture hero.
So the previous suns, the 4 ages before ours, how did they play out?
Well, the first sun was Tezcatlipoca's age. Giants lived then, but Quetzalcoatl knocked Tezcatlipoca down from his position.
And Tezcatlipoca became a jaguar.
A giant jaguar, yeah, devoured the giants, and later became the constellation Ursa Major, the Great Bear or Jaguar.
Okay, sun number 1 gone. Second sun.
Quetzalcoatl's turn, an age of wind. But Tezcatlipoca got his revenge, blasted with wind, turned people into monkeys.
Tit for tat, third sun.
That was Tlaloc, the rain god. This age ended in a rain of fire, brought by Quetzalcoatl this time. People became birds.
And the fourth sun.
Chalchihuitlicue, goddess of water. Ended, predictably, with a massive flood. People turned into fish, and the sky collapsed onto the earth.
So 4 destructions caused by these divine rivalries. How did they fix the collapsed sky?
This is interesting. After all that fighting, Quetzalcoatl and Tezcatlipoca actually worked together.
They're reconciled.
Seems so. They transformed themselves into 2 huge trees and literally pushed the sky back up, holding it in place.
Wow. Cooperation after conflict.
And then Tenochtitlan, a high creator god, gave them the starry heavens and made the Milky Way as their road. The cosmos was reset, ready for the next age.
The 5th sun, our current age. And this is where the Aztec focus on sacrifice becomes really central.
Absolutely critical. The belief was that this new sun, our sun, needed constant nourishment to keep moving.
Nourishment in the form of
human hearts and blood. Without it, the sun would stop, the world would end in darkness. The stakes were incredibly high.
It's a very different relationship with the cosmos than the Maya seem to have. Much more precarious.
Very precarious. Cosmic maintenance was humanity's, specifically the Aztecs' responsibility. Sacrifice wasn't just worship, it was essential work to keep reality going.
How did this 5th sun actually come into being? There are different accounts?
Yeah, 2 main ones we have. One involves the sons of Quetzalcoatl and Tlaloc being sacrificed in a great fire. One becomes the sun, the other the dimmer moon.
Okay. And the other version?
Perhaps more famous. It involves 2 gods volunteering. One is wealthy and proud, Tekuchistecatl. The other is humble, sickly Nanahuatzin, full of sores.
The humble one volunteers first.
Yes. Despite the other gods maybe mocking him, Nanahuatzin bravely leaps into the massive ceremonial bonfire.
And the proud one follows.
Tekuchistecatl, shamed by Nanahuatzin's courage, jumps in after him.
And this explains animal markings, too.
Right. An eagle and a jaguar also jumped into the dying embers. That's why the eagle's feathers are tipped black and the jaguar has spots. It also grounds the origins of the elite Aztec eagle and jaguar warrior orders.
So Nanahuatzin becomes the sun.
Yes, the brilliant sun, all in Tenochtitlan. Tekuchistecatl becomes the moon. But he was too bright initially.
So a god threw a rabbit at him.
Exactly. Threw a rabbit at his face to dim the light, leaving the rabbit's shape visible on the moon's surface forever.
But the sun, Tenochtitlan, wouldn't move.
No, he demanded a sacrifice from the other gods first.
They had to sacrifice themselves.
Yes. To get the sun moving, to set the cosmos in motion, Quetzalcoatl had to sacrifice the other gods, cutting out their heart. A profound statement about the necessity of sacrifice, even at the divine level.
Okay, so the sun is moving, the cosmos is running, but humanity was wiped out in the last flood? How were people remade?
Quetzalcoatl again, the culture hero. He had to go down to Mictlan, the underworld.
To get the bones back.
The bones of the people from the previous age, the ones turned into fish, he had to retrieve them.
And Mictlantecutli, the Lord of Mictlan, wasn't just going to hand them over.
Definitely not. He set a trick test. Blow a conch shell trumpet that had no holes.
How did Quetzalcoatl manage that?
Cleverness again. He got worms to drill holes in the shell and bees to fly inside and make it buzz. He passed the test.
But Mictlantecutli still tried to stop him.
Oh, yeah. As Quetzalcoatl was escaping with the bones, Mictlantecutli had a pit dug and sent a quail to startle him.
He fell.
He stumbled and fell, and the precious bones shattered into pieces of all different sizes.
Ah, and that's why people aren't all uniform.
That's the mythological explanation, yeah. Why humans come in different sizes.
So he gathered the broken pieces,
took them to the goddess Quetzalcoatl, woman serpent. She ground them into a fine meal, like maize flour.
And then?
All the gods gathered around. They performed auto-sacrifice, piercing their own bodies, earlobes, tongues, limbs, and letting their sacred blood drip onto the bone meal.
Mixing divine blood with the old bone.
Exactly. From this mixture, this sacred dough, new human beings were formed and brought to life. Life literally comes from divine sacrifice.
So humanity exists again. What about food? Sustenance.
Quetzalcoatl again, the provider. He saw a tiny ant carrying a single kernel of maize.
And got curious.
He transformed himself into an ant to follow it. It led him inside Tawnakuppetl, the mountain of sustenance.
And inside?
Vast stores of maize and all kinds of other food hidden away.
Could they just take it?
The gods tried to move the whole mountain, but it was too heavy. Divination revealed that only Nanahuatzin, the one who became the sun,
with help
from Tlaloc's little rain lightning helpers, the Tlalque, could split the mountain open.
And release the food.
Precisely. Maize and all the other foods came pouring out. And the Tlalque are the ones who distribute these foods across the earth each season. It connects the myth directly to the agricultural cycle and weather.
Okay, so food is covered. What about joy, happiness?
Quetzalcoatl felt the new people were, well, a bit down. They needed something more.
So he went looking for Meahu.
The goddess of the maguey cactus, yeah. She was hiding, afraid of her grandmother, one of those fearsome star demons, the Tsitsimima.
They transformed into a tree.
Entwined themselves into a single tall tree to hide. But the grandmother found them, flew into a rage, and tore Maihole's branch off, shredding it.
Tragic.
But Quetzalcoatl gathered her scattered remains, her bones, essentially, and planted them.
And from those bones,
Murray plants sprang up, the source of pulque.
the fermented drink.
Right. Quetzalcoatl taught people how to make pulque from the maguey sap. It was a gift to lighten their hearts, make them sing and dance, a divine origin for alcoholic celebration.
He seems to be responsible for bringing all the good things. Food, drink. What about music?
That too. As Evacatl, the wind god, Quetzalcoatl noticed people lacked music. For joy. For proper worship.
So he decided to go get some.
He conspired with Tezcatlipoca working together again. Interestingly, to fetch music from the house of Tenachia, the sun, way up in the heavens.
How did they plan to get there?
Tezcatlipoca's servants, Crocodile Woman, Fish Woman, Reed and Shell Woman, were told to build a great bridge spanning the heavens to the sun's house.
Did they succeed? Did they bring music back?
The source material we have actually cuts off there. We don't get the end of that particular story, unfortunately. But it shows how important music was considered something worth stealing from the sun itself.
These myths weren't just about cosmology, though. They were intensely political, too, weren't they? Legitimizing power.
Hugely so. The Aztec origin story is a prime example. It's all about divine mandate.
Starting with Huitzilopochtli's birth, the war god.
His miraculous birth on Coatepec, Serpent Mountain. His mother, Coatlicue, Serpent Skirt, made pregnant by a ball of feathers that fell from the sky.
And he emerged fully grown.
Fully armed, ready for battle immediately. His older siblings, the 400 cents on Huitznawa, and his sister Coyolxauhqui, were angry about the pregnancy, maybe saw it as dishonorable. They came to kill Coatlicue.
But Huitzilopochtli defended her.
Oh yeah. He sprang out, chopped off Coyolxauhqui's head, threw it into the sky where it became the moon, and slaughtered most of his brother. A brutal start, establishing him as a fierce protector and warrior.
Then he leads his chosen people, the Mexica.
Later known as the Aztecs, leads them out of their mythical homeland, Aztlan, the place of the white heron.
On a long migration, searching for a promised sign.
Exactly. A divinely guided journey. And it wasn't always smooth. There were tests, betrayals, hard decisions.
By leaving people behind.
Sometimes, yeah. At Pátzcuaro, they stole clothes from some bathers so those people couldn't follow. He also abandoned his own sorceress sister, Malanoxochitl, at Malinalco because her magic was causing trouble. He demanded absolute loyalty and adherence to his path.
And he wasn't afraid to enforce it. That incident at Coatepectla.
For some wanted to settle down early, Huitzilopochtli wasn't having it. He ripped out their hearts. A clear mess. Only his destination.
Then the conflict at Chapultepec with Copal.
Melanausiquil's son, seeking revenge for his mother. He rallied enemies against the Mexica.
But Huitzilopochtli captured him.
Captured him, tore out his heart too, and threw it far out into Lake Texcoco. And that act, seemingly just vengeance, turned out to be crucial for the prophecy.
How so?
Well, after more wandering, they ended up in Culhuacan, and this is where that infamous incident happens.
The princess.
Huitzilopochtli's priest asked the king of Culhuacan for his daughter, supposedly to marry the god, to become a goddess herself.
But that wasn't the plan.
Not at all. They sacrificed her, flayed her skin, and one of the priests wore it during a ceremony. The king saw it, was horrified, and drove the Mexica out.
A truly shocking act, but it propelled them forward.
It pushed them out onto the marshy islands in the lake, and there, on one island,
They saw the sign.
the sign Huitzilopochtli had promised, an eagle perched on a noble cactus, devouring a serpent.
And that island was where Copal's heart had landed.
Exactly. The place marked by sacrifice. That was the spot. That's where they founded Tenochtitlan, their future capital. The entire journey, every brutal step, was divinely ordained in their telling.
What's fascinating there is that later, Emperor Moctezuma the Elder One sent people back to find Aslan.
Wehu Moctezuma, yeah. Advised by his famous advisor Tlaloc, they sent sorcerers to find Aslan and Huitzilopochtli's mother, Coatlicue.
Why? What was the point?
It was partly reverence, honoring their origins, but also political, reinforcing their connection to the god, legitimizing their empire by going back to the source.
Did they find it?
They did, after a hard magical journey transforming into animals. Aslan was described as idyllic, a paradise with floating gardens, abundant food, even a magic hill that made people young again.
But the sorcerers struggled.
They struggled to climb that magic hill. Its sand was soft, and they were weighed down by the rich Aztec diet cacao, fine food. The guardian of Coatlicue, living simply, carried their heavy gifts up effortlessly. It's a subtle critique, maybe.
Maybe suggesting the empire had become decadent compared to its origins.
Possibly. They finally met Coatlicue. But she wasn't a glorious goddess. She was old, poor, weeping constantly for her absent son, Huitzilopochtli.
And she had a message for him, or for them.
A really crucial one. She longed for Huitzilopochtli, but she reminded the sorcerers that he himself had said he would only return after his own people, the Aztecs, had been conquered in their turn.
Wow, a prophecy of their own downfall.
Embedded right there in their own origin quest. She even sent back humble gifts for him, a simple maguey fiber cloak and loincloth, reminding him of his humbler beginnings, perhaps. It's a stunning counter-narrative to their imperial success.
The Aztecs also told stories about the fall of the previous great power, the Toltecs, to justify their own rise.
Seems likely, yeah. Stories explaining why the mighty Toltecs collapsed, paving the way for the Mexica. These often feature Tezcatlipoca as the agent of destruction.
Disguised as a sorcerer, Titlacahuan, targeting the last Toltec king, Huimac.
Exactly. Tezcatlipoca actively worked to undermine and destroy Tula, the Toltec capital.
How did he...
One story has him appearing naked in the marketplace selling chilies. Huimac's daughter saw him, was overcome with desire, and fell ill.
And the only cure
was for the chili seller, Titlacahuan, to marry her. So Tezcatlipoca literally infiltrated the royal family through lust and deception.
Classic Tezcatlipoca. Then what?
He gained influence, led the Toltecs in war, sometimes even winning through trickery. But his goal was ruin. He led them in a frenzied dance on a mountain called Tzatzitapetl, the mountain that speaks.
And made them fall?
Yeah. Charms them into dancing off cliffs, into canyons, turning into stone. Pure destruction.
He had other tricks, too.
Oh, yes. Another time, as a magician, he made a little figurine dance. It drew a huge crowd. People crushed each other trying to see it.
And when they tried to stop him?
They stoned him, but his corpse let off such a horrific stench it caused a plague. He brought ruin even in death.
And Huimac the king contributed to his own downfall.
His pride and greed, yeah. The Tlaloc, Tlalocs helpers, offered him maize, real sustenance. But Huimac demanded jade and precious quetzal feathers instead.
A terrible choice.
It insulted the rain gods. Result, a 4-year drought, famine, hail. The Toltecs were devastated.
And the final blow.
A prophecy. To end the drought, the gods demanded the sacrifice of a Mexica daughter. It directly foreshadowed the Toltec demise and the rise of the very people who would replace them. Huimac fled, his kingdom collapsed.
Then there's the famous story of Quetzalcoatl's exile from Tula, how he became the Morning Star. This seems to blend myth and maybe some historical memory.
Very likely. It recounts the downfall of Quetzalcoatl as the priest king of Tula, possibly reflecting real political upheaval. And again, Tezcatlipoca is the antagonist.
Still jealous.
Still holding that grudge from the first son, apparently.
Yeah.
He schemes to disgrace Quetzalcoatl.
Oh, the mirror trick.
Yeah, he shows Quetzalcoatl his reflection in a polished obsidian mirror. Quetzalcoatl sees himself as old, haggard, ugly. It plays on his vanity.
And then offers him Pulque.
Exactly. Tempts him with the intoxicating drink, promising it will restore his youth and strength.
And Quetzalcoatl falls for it.
He does. Gets drunk, loses control, and commits a terrible sin for a priest king. He sleeps with his own sister, Quetzalcoatl.
The ultimate disgrace.
He's overcome with shame and remorse. He decides he must leave Tula forever.
A self-imposed exile.
Yes. He performs penance, burns his magnificent palaces made of shell and silver, buries his treasures, sends away the precious tropical birds he brought to Tula, even magically transforms the cacao trees into worthless mesquite, erasing his own legacy.
A sorrowful journey eastward.
Very much so. Leaving his mark along the way, handprints on rocks, building a stone bridge. At one point, another sorcerer, probably Tezcatlipoca again, forces him to drink more pulque. He gets so drunk he snores loud enough to be heard for miles like thunder. That place became Coxtacan, city of sleepers.
And his final fate, 2 versions.
Right. One says he reached the eastern sea, built a raft of serpents, and sailed away towards the dawn to a mythical land called Tlapalan, the Red Land, with a promise he would one day return.
The famous prophecy of Quetzalcoatl's return.
Exactly. The other version is he reached the coast, built a great funeral pyre, adorned himself in his divine regalia, and threw himself into the flames.
Self-immolation.
Yes. And from that fire, his heart rose into the sky and became Venus, the morning star, forever appearing just before the sun. A transformation through sacrifice.
Incredible stories. Okay, let's head south now to the Andes. Inca mythology, Andean folktales. Different landscape, different gods.
Different gods, yes. But you'll see some familiar themes. Creation, destruction, tricksters, divine rulers. The main creator god for the Incas is often Viracocha.
Where does he come from?
Emerges from Lake Titicaca, a sacred place. His first creation is in darkness. He makes giants.
Like the Aztecs' first son.
A little, yeah. But these giants disobey Viracocha. They quarrel. So he destroys them, turns some to stone, swallows others in the earth, sends great waves. Then a huge flood lasts 60 days and nights, wipes the slate clean. He's not afraid to start over.
So, second attempt.
Back to Lake Titicaca, to the island of the sun. This time he makes the sun, moon, and stars first. There's even a little story about the sun being jealous of the moon's brightness.
And throwing ashes on it?
To dim it down, a touch of divine pettiness. Then, at Tiahuanaco, another sacred site, he sculpts people out of stone.
Giving them specific identities.
Exactly. Different features, clothes, languages, songs, even the right seeds for their region. He brings them to life and sends them out across the land, telling them to emerge from specific places, caves, springs, mountains, their local origin points, or pacarinas.
So everyone has a connection to a specific place through creation.
Right. Then Viracocha and his two sons travel the land, teaching people how to live farming, medicine, and demanding obedience.
Did everyone obey?
Not always. The Cana people at Cacha tried to attack him. He sent fire raining down on them.
But showed mercy.
When they begged forgiveness, yes. He put out the fire and even changed the local stones so they became easy to carry for building, a demonstration of both power and benevolence.
There's another creator figure too, Khan.
Yes, Khan, sometimes called a son of the sun. He initially made people fertile land rain, but when people misbehaved, he punished them by stopping the rain.
Making life harder.
Forcing them to dig irrigation channels to get water from the river. A lesson in resourcefulness, maybe.
But he gets overthrown.
But Pachacamac, another son of the sun and moon. Pachacamac drives Khan out and transforms Khan's people into animals. Monkeys, foxes, birds. Another world transformation.
Pachacamac makes his own people.
Creates a man and woman, but the man dies of hunger. The woman prays to the sun for help.
And the sun impregnates her.
With his rays, yes, a divine conception. But Pachacamac is furious about this interference.
What does he do?
He finds the child born from the sun's rays and tears it into pieces, scattering them.
Brutal, but something good comes from it.
Miraculously, yes. From the scattered body parts, essential food plants grow. Maize from the teeth, manioc from the bones, fruits and vegetables from the flesh. Agriculture born from dismemberment and divine power.
And the sun gets involved again.
Creates another son, Picham, from the leftover navel and penis of the first child.
Pachacamac kills Vachama's mother too. He seems very destructive.
Extremely jealous and destructive. But Vachama returns, finds his mother's body, resurrects her. Pachacamac sees this, gets scared, and flees into the sea, becoming associated with earthquakes, maybe.
What does Vachama do then?
He turns all of Pachacamac's remaining people into stone statues, except for their leaders, the Curacas. They keep their position, perhaps legitimizing the ruling class that existed when the Incas arrived. These Andean stories are also full of tricksters and heroes, just like the Maya and Aztec one.
Conrad Viracocha shows up as a trickster.
Yeah, sometimes Viracocha appears not as the grand creator, but as Conraya, this sort of raggedy, poor wanderer, but still immensely powerful.
And he desires Caviaca.
A beautiful divine weaver, a Huaca herself, who'd rejected every suitor. Conraya wants her.
How does he trick her?
Sees her weaving under a lucuma tree. He transforms his semen into a ripe lucuma fruit, drops it near her. She eats it, becomes pregnant.
Wow, miraculous conception again.
Right. She doesn't know who the father is, so she calls all the gods and spirits, the Huacas, together for a big assembly.
To find the father.
Yeah. She tells her baby son to crawl to his father, and the baby crawls straight past all the splendidly dressed gods.
To Conraya in his rags.
Exactly. Cabiaca is horrified, disgusted that her son's father is this apparent beggar. She grabs the baby and runs away towards the sea.
Does Conraya reveal himself?
He calls out, tries to get her to look back, puts on his golden robes, showing his true divine form, but she doesn't turn around. She and the child run into the sea and become stone islands.
And the story explains animal trait.
As Conraya chases her, he asks various animals if they saw her. The condor gives helpful news, so Conraya blesses it. The skunk is bad news, so he curses it to smell bad forever. It weaves natural observations into the narrative.
Then there's Huarochiri, son of a god.
Son of Parikaca, a major mountain and water god who is himself still inside 5 condor eggs at this point. Huarochiri is poor, but divinely connected.
He meets a rich, arrogant man.
Tamtadamka. This guy claims he's a god, but he's suffering from a mysterious illness.
And Huarochiri figures it out.
He overhears 2 foxes talking. They reveal the cause. Tamtadamka's wife committed a tiny act of infidelity and gave a popped maize kernel to another man. This tiny sin manifested physically in the house.
As what?
As 2 snakes living secretly in the rafters and a monstrous 2-headed toad hiding under the grinding stone. These were literally making Tamtadamka sick.
So Huarochiri gets rid of them.
He tells Tamtadamka what to do. They kill the snakes. The toad escapes into a spring, which then causes madness if you drink from it. Tamtadamka gets better.
And rewards Huarochiri.
Keeps his promise to worship Parikaca, and Huarochiri marries Tamtadamka's younger daughter.
But there's trouble with the in-laws.
Oh yeah, the wealthy, arrogant brother-in-law is jealous. Challenges Huarochiri to contest. Drinking, dancing, wearing fancy puma skins, building a house the fastest.
How does poor Huarochiri compete?
He gets help from his father, Parikaca, still in the eggs. Tricks foxes into providing endless maize beer, gets magical musical instruments, a drum that makes the earth shake, panpipes. He wins the dance contest by making the entire landscape dance with him. Animals help him hunt his house super fast.
And the brother-in-law.
He loses badly, is humiliated, and eventually Parikaca transforms him into a deer forever hunt. A clear lesson about pride and mistreating those who seem humble but have powerful connections.
Parikaca himself has adventures too.
Yes. After he hatches from the 5 condor eggs, emerging as 5 brothers, or aspects of one being, he's a powerful mountain god, controls water, weather.
He punishes lack of hospitality.
Severely. A village holds a feast, but ignores him. He sends a massive flood and mudslide, wiping out the entire village except for one woman who had shown him kindness. Don't disrespect the mountain gods.
But he can be benevolent too.
Definitely. He creates irrigation canals for another community suffering drought. He provides.
And fights other powerful beings.
He battles Hualalo Carhuincho, a terrible fire deity associated with consuming humans, and his consort, Mama Yum.
How does he win? Water against fire.
Exact. Parikaca, as 5 beings, attacks from 5 directions with storms, rain, hail, lightning. He drives Hualalo into a valley, blocks his escape with water, and forces him into the humiliating fate of having to eat dogs instead of humans. Mama Yamka is defeated and thrown into the sea.
And Parikaca's child stays to guard.
Yes, one of his children, Chuquiwampo, was injured. He stays near where Mama Yamka was cast into the sea, becoming a local Huaca who receives offerings, coca leaves, Yama sacrifice, ensuring the victory is remembered and respected. And just like with the Aztecs, these myths are tied directly to the founding of the Inca Empire itself.
The story of Manco Capac, the ultimate origin story.
Blending myth and maybe some historical memory of migration, it starts with the ancestors emerging from a cave.
4 brothers, 4 sisters.
Right, including Ayar Manco, who becomes Manco Capac, and his sister wife Mama Oklo. They emerge, richly dressed, carrying golden items, clearly marked as special, elite.
They're looking for a place to settle.
Guided by divine signs. It's a journey, not an instant arrival, and there's conflict among the siblings.
Ayarkachi was too strong.
Immensely strong. Could reshape mountains with his sling.
Yeah.
His brothers got scared, tricked him into going back into the cave and sealed him inside. He became a powerful Huaca, a spirit of that place.
Then Ayar Uchu.
He grew wings, flew up to talk to their father, the sun, came back with the message. Manco should lead, become Manco Capac, Supreme Rich One, and found the empire in the valley of Cusco.
And then he turned to stone.
Yes, becoming another sacred stone waka on a hill overlooking Cusco, marking the land.
The final sign was the golden rod.
Manco carried a golden staff or rod, where it sank easily into the fertile earth. That was the spot. It happened near Cusco.
And another brother turned to stone too.
Ayar Alca. He flew to mark the future site of the Coricancha, the Temple of the Sun, and also became stone. The landscape of Cusco becomes sacred through these transformations.
So Manco Capac establishes the city. They have children, start Inca traditions.
Exactly. The birth of Sinchiroca, the next Inca, performing the Huarochico ceremony for young nobles, celebrating the sun god Inti. It sets the whole foundation, divinely ordained rule.
We also hear about later Incas like Loco Yupanqui and his son Meta Capac.
Loco Yupanqui, the 3rd Inca, was initially childless. The son promised him an heir. He married Mamakawa.
And their son, Meta Capac, was exceptional.
A prodigy. Born super fast, already had teeth, grew incredibly quick. At age 2, he was supposedly beating older boys in fights, even killing some or breaking legs.
That sounds problematic.
It does to us, but in the myth, it demonstrates his innate power, his superhuman strength, marking him as a destined ruler, maybe justifying later conquest. It provoked a rebellion from neighboring groups like the Alcabices.
But Meta Capac wasn't scared.
No, he reassured his worried father and led the Inca forces to victory. Again, the myth reinforces the Inca ruler as a divinely empowered warrior from birth.
Then there's Copa Inca Yupanqui, a major emperor. He faced a long rebellion.
12 years from 3 different people. Shows the challenges of empire. He needed help.
So he called on the Huacas, all the sacred spirits and places?
Yes, summoned them all. Interesting that Pachacamac, the powerful coastal god, was considered too great to intervene directly. Others stayed silent.
But one stepped up.
Macoisa, son of the mountain god Pariacaca, he offered help, emitting this strange blue-green vapor.
And he defeated the rebels.
Single-handedly, according to the story, caused a massive storm and flood, washed them away, brought back prisoners, pure divine power assisting the Inca emperor.
And his reward?
Copa Inca offered him anything. Macoisa just asked to be worshipped properly like his father was by the Yayu people, and then he demonstrated his otherworldliness by eating thorny oyster shells, spondylus shells, which were incredibly valuable ritual items.
Towards the end of the empire, Conaraya appears again, visiting Huayna Capac.
The last undisputed Inca ruler before the Civil War and Spanish arrival. Conaraya takes him to Lake Titicaca
to retrieve Conaraya's sister from the underworld.
Yeah, he sends sages down. One fails because he gets curious and opens the box she's in too early. She vanished.
Lesson learned.
The second sage resists all temptation. Magic, food, comfortable beds appearing on the path and succeed. Brings his sister back in the chest.
Huayna Capac opens it.
A beautiful woman emerges in blinding light. Conaraya proposes they divide the world between them. Huayna Capac gets the earthly realm, ruling with this new divine wife.
And Huayna Capac agrees.
Yes. He even sends a relative back to Cusco to impersonate him while he stays at Titicaca. It's a strange story, maybe suggesting the Inca ruler becoming more divine, detached from the capital near the end, blurring those lines.
There are also local origin myths, like the macaw woman for the Cañari people.
Right, reflecting a restart after a great flood, a common theme. 2 brothers survive on a mountaintop.
Find food mysteriously cooked.
For 10 days, they hide, discover 2 beautiful women with macaw feathers are doing it.
Try to catch them.
First attempt fails. They fly away. Second time, they manage to capture the younger one.
And she becomes human.
Transforms into a human woman. Marries both brothers, which is interesting culturally.
And repopulates the world.
Bears them 6 sons and 6 daughters. She also brings the first seeds. She's the source of life and agriculture for the Cañari people after the flood.
The maiden and the 3 warriors explains the origin of Huanuca.
Yes, and nearby mountain, a chief, Pulque Rumi, has a daughter, Corihuayta, Golden Flower. He vows she won't marry a mortal, a bit arrogant.
Ignores advice, prays to the sun god, Inti.
Wants Inkinium himself to take her as his bride. 3 powerful warriors want her too, bring their armies.
It intervenes dramatically.
Turns the warriors and their armies into mountains, one snow-capped, the others stone. Total divine power reshaping the landscape.
Then the maiden.
Inti says, Wanuki, live no more upon the earth. She dies, and he takes her spirit as his bride. The city gets its name from his word. Again, divine will overriding human desires, creating the world we see.
What about Aku Onlante? That feels more like historical drama.
It does. Based on a Quechua play, possibly recounting events involving a brave general, Ollantay, from outside the Inca nobility.
He loves the Inca Pachacuti's daughter, Cusicoiler.
Forbidden love across social strata, Pachacuti refuses the marriage, imprisons his daughter in the Aclahuasi, the House of Chosen Women, confines Ollantay.
Ollantay rebels.
Escapes, builds a fortress, Ollantaytambo, which still exists, raises an army, defeats the Inca general Rumiñahui. Stonai.
Meanwhile, Cusicoiler has a child.
Yuma Sumek, born in secret in the temple prison, raised there as a foundling. Years pass.
She finds her mother.
Discovers the changed Cusicoiler. Pachacuti dies. His son Tupac Yupanqui becomes Inca. Rumiñahui wants revenge on Ollantay.
Tricks him.
Pretends to be fleeing the new Inca. Gains Ollantay's trust, then captures him during a feat. Brings him to Tupac Yupanqui for execution.
But the new Inca is merciful.
Surprisingly, yes. Tupac Yupanqui pardons Ollantay, praises his loyalty even in rebellion, makes him a top general, even sanctions his marriage to Cusicoiler. Finally, Rumiñahui is shamed.
It's a story about forgiveness, loyalty, maybe a changing political climate.
Exact. Contrasting the harshness of Pachacuti with the mercy of Tupac Yupanqui, exploring complex themes within the empire.
And finally, Lake Titicaca itself has an origin myth.
A cautionary one, describes a rich city that once stood on the high plain where the lake now is.
Its chief became arrogant.
Thought he was a god himself. Ignored warnings from poor beggars, often divine messengers in disguise, about impending doom.
So the gods punished them.
Sent a massive flood that drowned the entire city and all its proud inhabitants forming the lake. A clear warning against hubris and explaining the lake's existence as divine retribution.
Wow. What an incredible journey through just some of these stories. Maya, Aztec, Inca. So rich, so profound.
Absolutely. You see the common threads, the cycles, the tricksters, the need for balance, the divine involvement, but also the unique flavors of each culture.
It's clear these weren't just bedtime stories. They were, as you said, blueprints for living. They carried meaning, purpose.
Definitely. They explain the cosmos, yes, but also provided a moral compass, a sense of identity, a deep connection between people, nature, and the god. You see their values, their fears, their hopes, all in these narratives.
How integrated everything was. Spirituality, the natural world, social rules.
Completely. And you see how they use stories to understand, well, everything. Why the sun rises, why we grow maize, how our city was founded, why pride is dangerous.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about the power of stories.
It does.
So, maybe something for you, the listener, to chew on. What are the origin stories or the guiding myths that we tell ourselves today? About progress, maybe? Or success? Or where our own societies came from?
Yeah. What narratives shape our understanding of the world now?
And what do those stories reveal about what we truly value, what we prioritize, and perhaps what we might be missing or forgetting?